'cause it's coming right on through.
Into the 9 o'clock hour with the Rascals on Salem's First Choice, 1490 KBZY. Seth Allen here with you on a Sunday. As promised, we have in studio Keith Apland, who is a writer and director from Portland, award-winning writer and director. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for coming in today.
No problem.
I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of talk about your newest project. For our listeners, you may remember Keith. He came in over a year ago, about a year and a half ago?
About a year and a half not this past October, but October before that.
That's right. He had a film in the Salem Film Festival called The Corners.
Uh-huh.
How did that work out for you?
It worked out great. It was ended up being shown in the Northwest Emerging Film Competition. Did really well. We had a good turnout. It was around the middle of the festival, about the week-long festival run, and it was about the middle. It was on a Monday night. Down at High Street Cinema, which is a really cool theater.
Yeah, the festival just finished up, last month for this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a chance to get out and see anything this year?
No, I didn't. I really wanted to, but at the time I was pretty busy with other things. But I really liked that festival, so hopefully I'll be able to go back to it again at some point.
All right. Well, so you're here today to talk about your newest, or your hopefully newest project.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's a short film that I'm trying to get made, and right now I'm currently seeking financing for it, which is through a crowdfunding system on a website called Kickstarter.
Kickstarter?
Uh-huh. And how that website works really is it's based on the idea that everyone has a few bucks to spare, and when you put all that money together, when everyone throws in a few bucks, then you now have enough money to finance a project. It does. The website is for not just film; it's for pretty much any kind of art project you'd like to do. So there's several projects up on Kickstarter right now, but mine is called The Last 8, and it's been up on Kickstarter now for about 10 days, and it has about 50 days left before it goes off the website. And in that time that I have to raise up the amount of money I want. Otherwise, I don't get it.
So I think I've been to this website. What you do if you have a project, you go on and you make kind of a you make a video or a short reel of what you want to do. Kind of it's more of like a personality, because the directors can come on, or people involved with the film can come on and talk directly to people who might want to donate to your film, correct?
Absolutely, yes. It's what the best thing to do is to, which is pretty common, is the filmmaker kind of comes from behind the curtain and talks to the anyone who would be looking to invest in it.
It's an interesting concept that where the director can directly speak to people that aren't usually involved in the film process.
Exactly, and that's why I really like this idea, is because anyone who throws in a few dollars and gets whatever reward they get, they end up becoming involved in the process from start to finish, from pre-production, production, afterwards, and then they follow the news on how the film's doing. So it really gets a lot of people involved.
Well, tell us a little bit about the film, The Last 8.
Uh-huh.
What's it about?
Well, it's about a newly retired and world-renowned solar physicist who's looking to live out his days pretty much relaxing. But he discovers from a close friend and fellow physicist that all life on planet Earth is in danger of going extinct within 24 hours. And no one knows about this, so he has to decide whether or not to tell his family or tell the world. He's not really sure what to do or how to handle it. So it's pretty much what the film is about, is that emotion, how you would deal with something like that.
So as far as your process, where did the seed for this idea come from? Was it a...
Well, I'm not sure. The thing is, being that we do live in the Pacific Northwest, there's sometimes not a lot of sunshine, and sometimes I feel pretty hungry for it. Yeah. And one day I think the sun came out. It was in the springtime, and it was one of the first times the sun came out, and it just felt really good. And occurred to me what it would be like to not have that, and that's pretty much, I'm kind of giving away a little bit about what the film's about, but it's not a big secret, but something does go wrong with the sun, and that's pretty much where it came from. I think is that hunger for solar energy.
Are there any other films that you can think of that might be similar in genre to
yes,
The Last 8?
Similar in genre, and well, there's also one that's similar in concept, and that I didn't really know about until after I wrote the first draft of the script for the last date, but someone brought to my attention there's a film called Last Night, which was made in the late 90s, and I watched it, and it does have some fundamental similarities, like the fact that the world is about to go away, the entire planet is about to die, but everyone knows it, and they've known it for months, so pretty much the world's gone a little bit nuts, and it follows certain case studies of people, what they're doing, how they're spending their last days, So mine is a bit different in that no one in the world knows it except two people, so
Gotcha. So it's more personal.
Very
more personal story.
Exactly.
Okay. For those listening that aren't sure of the process, as far as how long usually is a short film? Usually.
It's typically it can be any number of lengths. It can be, I'd say the typical length is between 5 and 15 minutes. Sometimes longer, sometimes 10 to 20. Mine would probably end up in the between 10 to 20 mark. I'd say probably around 15 minutes.
Okay.
And that's a good, comfortable length for a short film.
And there's a lot of film happening right now in Portland and around Portland, even in Salem as well, that I know of, that I've heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because the equipment is more accessible, or do you think that there's this kind of renaissance of filmmaking that's happening in the Pacific Northwest right now?
I think it's a combination of both. There is suddenly a lot more happening in the Portland community and Salem community, and I think it's because certain directors and certain projects are really taking off, and these projects were very low budget, dream big type of projects, and with in combination with this new equipment that's come out that's actually really affordable, these cameras that most independent filmmakers are using are actually still cameras. They're digital still cameras, but they look amazing when you use them on their video setting, and they really produce a movie-like quality. So suddenly it's all very accessible to anyone and everyone.
And also the editing software and
absolutely
else.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have to take a break right now, but I'd love to have you for another segment if you'd stay with us.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks, Keith. You're listening to Salem's First Choice 1490 KBZY. We have Keith Apland in studio. He's a award-winning writer and director from Portland. Stay tuned. That was the Robert Shaw Chorale on Salem's First Choice 1490 KBZY. I have Keith Apland in studio. A little Christmas music to segue into some talk about film. Hi, Keith.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for staying with us for one more segment. So I keep calling you award-winning writer-director. Why do I do that? Why do I keep calling you that?
Well, actually, recently I wrote a feature screenplay that I'm looking to produce next year, hopefully next summer. That I submitted to some screenplay contests and festivals, and came back with some awards for it. So,
and this is Bridgetown Minutes, right?
Bridgetown Minutes,
Okay. And that's it sounds like it has to do with Portland.
Yeah. Good guess. Yes, exactly. It's it's about Portland. It basically takes place in a pretty small frame of time on a Friday night in downtown Portland, basically in the hour and a half leading up to a tragic event. It's between about 6 characters, intertwined, and it's a dramatic ensemble piece.
Okay, I'm seeing a trend here of tragic events in your
yes,
films.
And actually my wife points that out to me fairly often, because it's not exactly what my personality is like when you talk to me. But for some reason, when I write, this is pretty much what comes out as the darker stuff.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So for your short film, how much are you looking to raise?
About $2,500.
$2,500, and that's from start to finish. That would be the budget of your whole film.
Yes, that would get us from A to Z. That would include paying talent and crew. That would include feeding talent and crew. That would include the cost of the equipment, location, props, stuff like that, and also for the promotional materials like website and posters, stuff like that.
Okay, that's not the Michael Bay $250 million budget.
Not quite. No, not quite there. No, it's with this amount of money. I already have a good crew lined up and some good talent on board too. So we pretty much have had some production meetings about it and decided that amount of money would be comfortable to get it finished.
Now, do you use a lot of the same crew when you do because I know you did The Corners and you've done a couple short films. Do you continue on with the same crew, or do you kind of thin the herd as the film needs it, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's different each time. It's there is a couple of people I generally work with, a couple of talent. And there's a crew member that I always work with that's director of photography and editor. He's really good, and he's pretty sought after in the community, and also a good friend of mine. His name's John Meyer, and we've worked together a lot. And this time around, I have a new producer. Her name's Rachel Sharkeye, and she'll be producing the film for me. So it is project to project, but I've never gone onto a project with a completely new crew, and I don't think I ever will.
Mm-hmm.
There'll always be somebody from a previous project that I trust that'll be on the next project.
Probably with the director of photography too, you have kind of a shorthand with your communication. You probably understand
exactly.
each other.
Yeah, you know each other pretty well. You know how you think. So when there's problems or issues or when you're just talking about ideas, you can talk through them really well and very easily and make a really good product.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So how long do you think this film would take? When do you plan to be finished with it if you raise the money in the amount of time, the correct time?
Well, there's a lot of it's going to depend on the weather because there does need to be sunny days when we're shooting. There's some interior stuff that won't necessarily need a sunny day, but ultimately we'll have to kind of wait for sunny days here and there. So I'm thinking by the latest late spring, early summer, it'll be all finished and ready to roll and ready to get out there and show in theaters and show in festivals and stuff.
Yeah, that kind of leads me to my next question. What do you plan to do with it once it's done?
Well, what I really like to do is submit to festivals in the Northwest first and have an opening here. Usually it's at a festival in maybe Portland or I really do like the Salem Film Festival as well. The only thing is Salem Film Festival isn't until October, and I'd like to show it a bit earlier. So I'll probably have a few screenings, cast and crew screenings, or small public screenings that aren't wouldn't exactly say like premiere, but they'd be intimate screenings, and then have premieres at film festivals and stuff.
Okay, and then eventually we kind of spread out nationally and
exactly. Yes, it's
film festivals.
Yeah, exactly. Gain momentum, by going local, and then try and go further from there.
Okay. Well, are you writing anything right now?
Yes, I am. I'm working on a couple new feature screenplays that one of them my brother-in-law is helping me with. It's kind of a war movie that I'm working on, and I've never been in the military, but my brother-in-law is a very, very long time military, so he's been helping me with the research process. Without him, I really wouldn't have been able to make it as far as I have. I'm in about the third draft right now, and I'm expecting at least a few more drafts before I'm ready to put it out.
A full length or a short?
That's a full length.
Full length. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, you don't only write screenplays, right? Yeah, I heard somewhere that you might have gotten a short story published.
Oh yes, actually recently it was in the October issue of Daisy. I'm sorry, I just named my short story before I named the magazine. Actually, it's in the October issue of In the Snake magazine, which is an online literary magazine. It's monthly, and my short story was called Daisy in a Sandbox. And very easy to get to if you just either Google my name, it comes up on the first page, or if you just Google In the Snake magazine, then it comes up.
Oh, congratulations with that. That's exciting.
Thank you.
So if people are interested in helping you fulfill your dream of making the last 8, where would they go?
Well, there's a few places they can go. The first place is my film company's website, and that's day1000films.com, and that's day1000films.com, and that has a link directly to the Last 8's Kickstarter page. Another way is to go directly to Kickstarter.com. Of course, all this is online. You go to Kickstarter.com, and in the search bar, you type in the Last 8, and it'll take you directly to my project. And then there's a reward system for every amount you throw in. You get a reward, and if you throw in a higher amount, you get every reward previous to that. It's a pretty good reward system in how it goes.
Okay, so Kickstarter.com, look up Last 8, or just go to day1000films.com. That's day1000films.com.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Keith.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming out, and good luck with this.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see it. It sounds good.
Great. Thanks a lot for having me.
No problem. You're listening to 1490 KBZY in Salem. Seth Allen with you on a Sunday. Stay tuned.